Welcome to another edition of the Ebit Media show. On today's episode, we'll be navigating the topic of love, loss, heartbreak, and learning to love again. And on today's episode, we have an amazing guest, someone who has mastered the art of loving and learning to love again. And I would like her to introduce herself.
Okay, thank you everyone. I am Miss Susan SunnyWali, popularly known as Sue the Counselor, a trauma and addiction counselor.
Wow, you heard that, a trauma and addiction counselor. So all those who have traumas, this is just the show for you. So Miss SunnyWali, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. And I think our viewers are itching to hear all that you have to say about loss, trauma, and love. Now, let's begin like this. Have you ever had an experience of loving and losing? Because we cannot talk about loving and losing if we do not have a perspective that is close to the audience. So, do you have something that hits home?
Okay, so you want to take me down memory lane now?
Yeah.
But it's a good thing I can actually talk and laugh about it, because then I thought I was going to die. Okay, so apparently in 2020, during the whole corona thing, while people were taking time to spend time with family and all of that, I was in pain. Yes. So that was my very first relationship. First love, let me put it that way. We loved each other. There was really no issue, nothing. We were just flowing. Then all of a sudden, you know when you begin to see the red signs and
red flags.
No, it was so bad because forgive me. I believe the spiritual actually guides the physical.
Right.
So apparently, I saw it in a dream while we had a breakup. We talked about it. We even prayed.
Wow.
So you get, and we felt like, okay, we have prayed about it, so it's fine, it's okay. Then we were just having a conversation. I think it was heated to some point, and he was like, leave me alone.
What?
Leave me alone could mean a lot of things. So I felt like we needed the space, so I left him alone.
Alone. Like he asked.
Yeah, like he asked. But the leave me alone was, the alone time was taking so long.
It was deeper than what we thought.
You know? So then I had to call, like, what's up? Are you not done clearing your head and all of that? I said, well, when I said leave me alone, I meant it was done.
Oh, my heart.
Like, who breaks up will leave me alone? But I felt like I'm a strong girl. I cannot cry because of man now. You get that feeling. But it was like after 3 days, that was when it dawned on me, like, this guy left me. Like,
he's really gone, like, you're coming back.
Now breakfast is so you get that kind of a thing. So it was painful. I cried. I just wanted to leave everything. I didn't want to associate. I think it took about 3 to 6 months. I was serving them. By the time I returned home, I was looking like a shadow of myself. It was that bad. But, well, that was it. And like I said, it's good I can laugh about it now. So yes, I have felt what it is like to love, to be loved, and to also lose someone you felt like this is the very last point and this is just going to be it. Yeah.
So disclaimer, our audience, when we talk about loss, we're not talking about death.
Yeah.
We're talking about a breakup. The point where the love no longer exists. So we're looking at losing love. Now, that was an emotional story, and I don't know what to say. But I think I can relate to your pain. I can relate to your pain, even though they've not served me breakfast. We're hoping our breakfast doesn't come ever. But now, scientists say that the pain of rejection is like the pain given in a physical fight. So your brain tends to understand rejection like you were beaten. So you feel rejection physically. So it's not like something mental. Rejection, heartbreak, your whole sensors, your whole nervous system, they read the pain like you were in a fight, like you were beaten up or like you had an accident. So it's both physical and mental. So for you, what hurt the most?
Okay, so truthfully, as a mental health counselor, there is one thing I've come to know. The truth is that everything we go through, including the physical pain, it first of all goes through our head.
Yeah.
So if my head is not telling me that this thing hurts, I don't want to feel it. As much as, because your body sends the sensation. It's for you to tell yourself that this is it. So I really acknowledge the fact that a mental hurt, psychological hurt is almost the same as a physical hurt. Now, the breaking point for me is, love is something we can't quantify it. We can't say this is, you can't explain it. And in the Bible it was talking about things that we can't see. You get, those ones are eternal. That is all it is. You really can't see love. So you can only infer it from what this person does.
Yeah.
So first of all, when things happen, in your head you want to be like, no, this is not it.
This is not happening.
This is not happening. Like, maybe this person will come back. I think for me, what hurts the most was, what did I do?
Yeah.
Now that was the point of, I think that was where rejection started hitting. I started feeling like, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten into the conversation. Maybe I should have let it slide. It's like beating a child for what the child doesn't even know what they did. So that was what hurt me. Like, till today, I think if I should see him, I'll be like, what did I really do?
Were you not enough?
Yes, because I really want to know. So I feel like even if till today, Richard, even if you're going to leave somebody, even if you're parting ways with somebody, please try as much as you can to tell the person why. This is it. Like, why? Because you just grew up with, maybe I wasn't even sufficient. Maybe, and maybes can just create a lot of fears.
To create a lot of things in your head, and before you know, you're getting imposter syndrome.
Exactly.
And all of those.
Beautiful. That is it.
So we're talking about trauma. Love can lead to trauma. Don't love if you don't have heart. Dear viewers, don't love. Love will hurt you. Love will take you through the highest and then bring you to the lowest. But love is beautiful. And when you give yourself to really loving, we kind of want to give our all. You know that situation where this is not comfortable for you at all, but because you love this person, you are ready to do it for the person, and then in the middle of it all, you are just left hanging. I understand what that trauma can be. I understand, and it's an issue because the people who inflict pains on other people tend not to understand what this is. Some people just feel like love is something they do and they leave it. But for people who are sensitive, because I believe there are sensitive people looking at this video right now. For people who are sensitive and tend to question themselves over and over again, it begins to create that thing you said. Maybe you begin to have the gap, and that is where trauma begins to build. You begin to build a wall. So tell us about the wall you built against love, because that's where we're going to.
Okay, so this is getting so personal now. But like I said, I'm happy that I can share, because I believe that most times God takes us through some things so that we'll be able to see the story from
our
an
perspective.
experience, point of view. So within that 3 to 6 months, I don't tell you the truth, I tried listening to messages. I couldn't listen. You will just get one trigger, you will start crying. You get this kind of a thing. But I think one beautiful thing that happened to me was that within those times I was crying and all of that, I was mourning my broken heart. I started learning about love afresh. Yeah. So I wasn't in a haste to get into another relationship. And I think that's where most of us get it wrong. We are just done with this person, and the next thing we need somebody to cover up the gap. Simply because we want to, maybe I will say pepper them. We want to pepper this other person or something. But no, I wasn't in a haste because I knew I needed to heal. I was hurting. I needed to heal so that I don't take the baggages from this other place and put it on the next person. And I also noticed another thing. For every man that was coming to me around that period, I wanted to quantify him with who I had. Yeah, I wanted to be like, he doesn't have this thing that this person had. You get that point. We do it. It's fine. It's okay. But one beautiful thing was that I grew closer to God, because I'm someone that I really don't know how to explain my pain. I tell people that I get to some point in my life, I love praying. But people think that prayer is only to shield the devil. For me, prayer is communication. For me, it is how I feel God's closer. There are sometimes I'll be like, God, I beg. That's a prayer.
That's a prayer, yeah.
So I grew closer to God. And to some point, I started learning love in you. I started learning what love truly is. So I tell people, it's how you can hurt me and I don't even get angry again. I just look at you like, it's how I want to love again, because love is beautiful. So it was more like, if there was a woman in Jesus' life, Jesus knew that this is it, this is going to be the end. Should have been hurt, but the fact was that it was for a greater cause.
Yeah.
So people stay in our life for some reasons. Yeah, it's not everybody that we are going to get to the end. I still talk to my ex till today. Like, we are now in good terms. So I just feel like maybe this was not meant to be. Maybe it was supposed to be here. I started looking at it, at the greater future. Okay, why was this person here? What lessons did I learn from this? Why do I need to move on? So the only wall I built then was the fact that I didn't want to carry a hurting heart into another relationship. I wanted to discover myself. I wanted to be better. I wanted to be fine. And the truth is that I love this whole version of me a whole lot, because anybody I am going to get into a relationship with now, the kind of love I'll shower on you. There was a meme I saw. I said it would look like they should give me your younger brother.
Oh wow.
So, and that's because I took out time to heal. I took out time to learn. Yeah.
Okay. So healing is paramount.
Very, very
Healing is paramount. So from what you've said, I've gotten the fact that you should go through your grief. When it happens, do not try to deny it, because I think what elongates the process is denial. You said something about jumping into another relationship, looking for another shoulder to carry you after a hurt, after you've lost someone. So if we begin to deny that we are hurt, it stays for long, and then one day we get a trigger and everything goes off and we break another relationship, go into another. So how long do we keep having triggers? How long do we keep carrying broken hearts? Now, what is your recommendation for healing? Because prayer is a generic advice. What are the daily habits? What are the little steps that people can take to heal, to get over people they have lost, people that have left them, people that have rejected them? So how do they begin to find confidence in themselves and their ability to love again? And how do they heal from that past and move on to a lovable future?
Okay, that's beautiful. Like I said, the first step is accepting that you're hurting. In Africa, we teach people how to grieve, which is a very bad one. If you want to cry, cry about it. Okay? Some of us might feel like breaking things, but break carefully. Okay? Like, do you express your hurt in a healthy way, though? Don't try to kill yourself. I know that sometimes.
What is that, my healthy way?
Sometimes suicidal thoughts might come in. The truth is, you can't really explain pain.
Yeah.
Pain hits differently.
It's a subjective feeling.
Exactly. You can't explain it. So I really might not want to blame someone that wants to go to the point of suicide, but suicide is never an option. And in fact, if suicidal thoughts starts coming in, I think you need to seek help at that point, or have a close relative. Good. for me, I didn't have suicidal thoughts. So I can't use the way I felt pain to recommend to others. And that is what I'm saying. If being suicidal is your own form of releasing, please seek help. It means it is going overboard. Okay. So for me, crying was it.
Was your expression.
Crying was it. And another thing I did was I just wanted to be alone. I could wake up early in the morning, I'd take long walks. Within those walks, I might be crying. I'd just be listening to music and
that love. You love me like this.
So in the morning, in the evening, I had supportive friends, I won't lie. Because they were in the picture when everything happened. They kept talking to me and all of that. But personally, I knew that I needed some time away from the noise. And thirdly, there's something we do. Our head will tell us to do it. Following up on that person.
Stalking.
You just want to see, is this person doing fine?
Without me.
You want to follow, if possible, go off all social media. If it is possible, because you're going to be seeing this person's posts and all of that. You want to see does it mean that this person has a new girl? Does it mean that this person has a new guy? So you just want to see their progress. Please, every monitoring spirit, cancel it. It's going to come. We are human, sending all that. You want to see the person's last scene. The truth is, I don't know if this was healthy, but the truth is, at some point I had to block him. He helped me. Now this was my way of coping. I can't say for every other person. For that period of time, I just didn't want to see the status. I didn't want to chat. I didn't want to, those things that would make me always want to cover. That was a coping strategy for me, because I knew that if I kept seeing, and I archived the messages. I didn't delete, I archived it so that I don't get to see it. Because I feel like if I keep seeing it, I'll keep getting back there. And I didn't want to be monitoring this person. Everyone deserves the right to be happy. If not being with me is going to make you happy, as much as we are hurting, it's fine. Let's hurt, but I don't want to be monitoring you and all of that. So please don't monitor them. Give them their time. Then please, don't look for, what's the name they call these people now? A rebound.
Yeah.
We tend to do that most of the time. So maybe there was one best friend that was there saying you get.
That you did not give green light.
Exactly. And you just want to go there. Or maybe there was an ex or there was something. You just want to rebound. When you break up, you're very vulnerable.
Vulnerable, that's the word.
You're so vulnerable. Don't get into a relationship immediately. I plead with you, because it might end in maximum tears.
Yes, again.
Because it means you're just going around circles. Don't get into something immediately until you are sure that you are healed. So don't look for a rebound. And in healing, healing can be crazy. This moment you're telling yourself you're fine. This moment you're crying again. You just think of memories and it just brings back everything, rushing and all of that. So healing is not really spontaneous. It takes time. And you need to understand that healing takes time. Take it one step at a time. And if you feel for any reason that you have healed and you are ready to get into a relationship, I would suggest that you talk to the person about your past relationship and this was it. And work out a plan of, okay, I would be needing your support as much as possible. Because there are most times that you could even be with this person and emotions will rush back.
Yeah.
And so if this person doesn't understand that, okay, we're at this point, this is what it has to be, the person might just blow it out of proportion. So you both need to understand that, okay, this is a process and all of it, and yes, I'm going to come out of it. Like, when I felt I had healed, I unblocked him. And I apologized. I said, okay, I'm sorry I blocked you, but I needed that space at that time. And please, if you know that talking to your ex or keeping something close again is going to make you people, there is every possibility that you might want to fall back to your ex. please reduce conversations as much as you can. Don't go into unnecessary details. Have you moved on? Are you not dating? I know you would want to do that, but try to avoid those things because it's going to just keep you back. It could help. And yes, finally, please develop yourself. Like get busy, get something doing. It is going to help you.
You're not created to just come and love a man.
I think that's it.
Wow, that was very educative.
Thank you.
I think I'm ready for a heartbreak now. I think I can survive. I can live through a heartbreak. Yeah, I can heal. I can take long walks. I can express my pain, even though men don't cry. I can look for other coping mechanisms. Now let's bring it down to family, to friends, to people you hoped to help you, like uncles. Yes, uncles are guilty of that. Someone promises you and says, when you get admission into the university, don't worry, your first school fees will be settled. And then you begin to call for that school fees and it's either they block your number or they stop taking your calls or they change your SIM card. So that can count as heartbreak. It could count as loss. It could make you feel almost the same emotions you felt when you were heartbroken from a relationship. So what are the processes to navigate this? That you really trusted someone to come through for you. You really trusted someone with a secret. You really hoped this person would be with you till the end of time as a friend. Even parents can cause this. Probably they stop supporting you because of a decision you took and they are not in support of, and they do not care what it's leading to in your life. So how do you learn to love these people again? Because the topic says loving beyond loss. So when you've lost the ability to love these people naturally, what do you hinge on? How do you learn to love these people again? How do you teach your heart that regardless of what they have done, there are still things to love in them?
Okay, so aside from the relationship breakup I had, I've gotten to feel pain in a lot of areas, and before I came to know what I know now, right? I made a lot of decisions based on the pains I felt and all of that. First of all, I don't come from the best of homes, if you understand. I think that was where the very first pain started from. Getting to see a lot of things happen in your home and all of that. And as a growing child, I just had to grow up with that. I have had friends fail me and all of that. But there are things I've come to discover in life, and I feel if we do that, it is going to help us a lot. First of all, we need to accept that pain is a part and parcel of life. We really cannot do away with pain. And in fact, the truth is, there are some kind of pain you need to feel to get to the top. Like, there are some pain that prompts you, they push you to become who you need to be. From where I come from, I tell people that maybe if I did not come from the kind of home I come from, I would have been a small child. But I grew in pain. It pushed me to do a lot of things. And today, I am helping people heal because I've been there. I know what it feels like to have that kind of upbringing. So now I help people. I am able to tell people that, okay, you can go through it. It isn't really easy, but you need to accept that at some point in time, you just need to feel pain. Let's take, for instance, a child. For a child to start sitting, the child is going to fall sick, kind of. It's going to feel a kind of pain. If you're someone that have grown with children, when the child starts tooting, the child feels pain too. The whole headache, fever, everything. When the child wants to crawl, he feels pain. When the child wants to walk, you feel pain. So that's to show you that at some point in time, you're going to feel pain. Even when you take the first step, there are times you could stumble on something, you could go and touch fire and all of that. When you want to start school, leaving your parents is painful.
Yeah.
You see children crying and all of that. That's because that's pain too. So we really cannot do away with pain. But we could actually determine how we want to manage pain. That's one. Then secondly, expectations hurt. Get that? Okay. I started leaving room for people's shortcomings. You know, we want people to become very perfect. I think this perfection thing, it does a lot of things to us. Like, because this person has promised you money, I'm not saying you shouldn't trust them, okay? You can trust them, but give room for what if. Okay, it might be that truly that person wanted to give you that money, but what the person was expecting didn't come. You know, when we are children, we feel like our uncles don't want to give us money. But the truth is, today you're an uncle. You're an auntie. How many people are you giving money?
They have not asked.
And the truth is, it's not like you don't want to help. I don't know if you've been in a situation where you really want to help, but your hands are tied. You don't have it. You will explain tired, no evidence, but you know in your heart that you want to help. So the same way you are feeling that way, have you put yourself in that person's shoe? That's where empathy. You know, our generation, we need to learn empathy. What if I was the one? What if it was me? So expectations hurt. Don't expect so much from people. As much as you expect this person to do this for you, give room for failures. This person failed, and so what? If you do something to me now, I teach people something. Before I judge you, I tell people, make at least 5 excuses for that person. Okay, we were supposed to have a date, you didn't turn up. I'll ask, what if you didn't have transportation? Or what if she didn't have transportation? What if something happened on the road? You get, what if? By the time I count like 5 what ifs, I would have seen a reason to, you know, make room for what that person has done. So as much as you expect from people, don't expect so much that you forget the fact that these people are human beings. They are bound to fail. Then this third one, I want to hit on it. Nobody owes you anything.
Wow.
Don't be entitled to anybody.
Does nobody really owe you something?
They don't owe you. Now that's the truth. I know you expect love, I know you expect money, I know you expect things, but the truth is, we have a generation that is so entitled. My father's money is my money, my uncle's money is my money. It's, the truth is, these people worked hard for it.
Yeah.
You even having a rich father or a father that provides for you, even in his little, or a rich mom or a rich friend or something, it is an opportunity. It is, I see it as an honor. That doesn't mean that you should leech on them. That doesn't mean that everything you want to do should be on them. The truth is, there are people that have parents that have money, but they are so stingy that they won't help you.
Yeah.
Then some parents want to raise self-reliant children that they won't give you the luxury of everything you want, like you can just get it. Sometimes they will give you what you need and tell you to work hard for what you want. So that's why I'm saying that you're not entitled. Don't be entitled. These people don't owe you. It is an honor, it is a privilege, it is an opportunity that, yes, they are in your lives. But when you start seeing it as an entitlement, okay, people can decide, you see someone loves you today, the next moment the person is hating on you already.
Yeah.
I cannot decide what that person is feeling. It's, for Christ's sake, it is how you feel. It is the same way you can't decide what I'm feeling for me. So you need to know that for somebody to love you,
it's a reflection of what.
Exactly. It means it is so beautiful, and you need to, that's why guard that relationship. Don't make it feel like, hey, you're supposed to love me now.
Yeah.
There are mothers that give birth to children and hate their children. There are fathers, the same thing. But this person loves you, this person is giving you everything, and you're thinking you are entitled to it. My dear, you need to treat it as, okay, this is it. And the moment you feel like this is an opportunity, you begin to respect people, you begin to love people, you begin to honor people, because a lot of things could happen, but these people chose to stay. These people chose to give. These people chose to help you through it all. So the moment you remove entitlement feeling from your head, if your uncle not give you money, you will go and hustle. So, and you will work hard to ensure that you get it, because the truth is, these people also worked hard for this thing. And if you look at it, the truth is, these people have other problems on them. The same way you're calling him for 1,000, your sibling might be calling him for 500. His children are calling him. This other person is calling him. The same way you're looking for this person's attention, you just might not know this person might be going through a lot. You see why I said, don't be entitled. So you need to understand that this is for somebody to give you time in this very busy world. Oh my God, you should tell the person thank you for your time, because it is something, yeah.
Okay, I have a little question about that, and I am quite not agreeing to. I'm not quite agreeing to a few things.
Okay.
Now, so first you said, what you've said now is that for family, for friends, for people around us, the way to heal from loss, the way to not feel that loss is to have a mind shift. So to stop feeling like they owe us something, to stop feeling entitled to their love, and to begin to make excuses for them. But now, in making excuses, do you not think it's a reflection of our low self-esteem that we begin to overcompensate for people because we want them to be there for us? Like you are too afraid to lose somebody, and so you begin to overcompensate for them. So, because I'm going to enter the topic of loving yourself and learning to love yourself. So, in loving people, in healing from hurts from normal people who are not in any romantic relationship with you, do you not think that in making too many excuses for them, you are overcompensating for them, and you are kind of forcing the relationship to stay, and you are deciding to shut your eyes to the red flags? So can you not love them yet keep your boundaries?
Okay, now in saying that we should make excuses for people, right? I was not looking at it from the part of overcompensating for them. And I want to correct an impression. You know, most times we love because we want to get love in return. Now, that's actually not what love is. I love because this is me. It's a lifestyle for me to tell you I love you. And when I tell you I love you, that's because I love you. Right? You don't have to be you don't have to be my romantic partner. Okay, I'm in the children ministry, especially teenagers. So after service, I'll be like, I love you. Turn to your neighbor, tell them you love them. You just might not know who needs to hear it, right? Now the thing is, making excuses for them is actually saving yourself the stress of overthinking. Okay? Now, this is where I was looking at it from. You could have your boundaries. Beautiful. That is it. Now, if you have a mother or if you have a father that has a weakness, doesn't mean you should stop being their child because they have a weakness.
No.
But you need to secure your mental space. So let's say, for instance, I have a father that is a drunk. Doesn't mean that I'm not his child.
Anyway.
So how do I secure my mental space? As much as I'm being like, hey daddy, this thing is bad, this drinking is bad, and I know it's hurting me, it's getting to me, I could start making excuses in my head, like he might be going through a lot. People drink for a lot of reasons. Maybe he's not enlightened as much as I am enlightened. And the truth is, most of our parents do not, they don't have the kind of exposure we have right now, right? So I could be like, maybe if he knows better. So what do I do? Because I'm giving excuses for him, it helps me to understand him better. It helps me to want to help him because I know that this is it. Okay? Now, That's because he is my father. I cannot stop being his child. He cannot stop being my father. I cannot call that overcompensation. I'd call that trying to keep things together. Now, overcompensation mostly comes in a place of a romantic relationship or friendship generally. Now, I'm looking at this, I have talked about family. And overcompensation comes when it is so obvious you are seeing red flags. Somebody is beating you and you're saying it's not about him, it's my bad character.
It might be your bad character.
Now, that is not making excuses for someone. That's overcompensating the person.
Yeah.
Making excuses, it's more like I gave a perfect instance. Somebody is delaying, and you know that this person is delaying. You get, now you're making excuse. Let me point another instance. There was a time I was working very far from home at that Mile 3 area. So I have to face Mile 3 drivers early in the morning, as early as 6 a.m. I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but if you're in Port Harcourt and early in the morning you face a Mile 3 conductor,
your day is spoiled.
Oh God. They will insult you. They will insult your family, even the husband you don't even have. So what I started doing was, if they don't start with it, early in the morning, what used to cause issue, change. I will arrange my change so that we will not fight. But even with the change, so we want to pick up trouble. I'll put my earpiece. I will be hearing something they are saying, but I'll tell myself, some of these conductors sleep under the bridge. You cannot tell me that somebody that slept in the cold and woke up early in the morning will have a good face with you. Some of them come back as late as 1 a.m. Then they'll go home and meet a nagging wife. Wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to come and meet you. That person will not have a good face. So that person must be going through a lot. So as they're shouting, I will even be smiling. Now then go keep quiet. They will even keep quiet. Now that's like you're trying to understand that this person is doing this. I also talked about your uncle not having money or something. Now, that is not you overcompensating because it is not a bad character. Overcompensating is when you are doing it for an unhealthy behavior. Something that you know that definitely this thing is bad. Like abuse, molestation, stealing, bullying, and you are busy making excuses for those things that you know is bad instead of going out, then that is overcompensation.
So, in loving people, making excuses for them is valid. Yeah, in learning to love them again. So for those
making excuses for the right things and the things you know that they might not be able to control.
Yeah.
And please, I need to add something, a touch of violence.
Okay.
There are most times too that you need to straight people up, right? Like you need to be like,
change it for them.
This is it, so that they need to know that this one is bad.
Yeah. Okay. So for those who have not had a touch of violence, this is your cue. Start having a touch of violence, and you can love everybody, but you should know how to love them. Love is not just a feeling that happens. It's something you can control. It's something you can navigate. And loving correctly is learning to navigate correctly. And now, lastly, there are people who have lost the ability to love themselves. Now, how does this show itself? They do not know what is right for them and what is not right for them. So they accept anything into their space. They can do anything. They can give their time to anybody, anyhow. They kind of live their lives in search of validation, because the search for validation is natural. But when it begins to get toxic, it's a sign that you do not love yourself enough to be valid in yourself. So how do you advise people who have lost the power to be valid in themselves? People who do not see themselves as good enough to be loved first by themselves before others. Because there's something that happens when you do not feel that you are lovable. You can let anybody into your space. Now it happens for students. You would see a girl who has come into school with a low self-esteem, and there's this guy, you know that this guy, he rose with too many girls, but because you feel small, when he comes into your space and begins to ask you out for obvious reasons that instead of just shutting him off or blocking him straight up, you begin to feel like he's doing you a favor, that him being in my space is actually a favor to me. He's helping me grow, when you know he's not the right person to be in your space. So looking at this, I can diagnose it to be not loving yourself, because someone who loves themselves do not give their time to anything, just anything. They do not go to just anywhere. They do not let just anybody into their space, because when you love yourself, you value yourself. But a lot of people have lost that love for themselves. And I'm not trying to shade any gender, but I feel it's even the reason why a lot of girls do some things they do, expose their bodies, do a whole lot of things that they shouldn't do, because I feel they have lost the love for themselves. So anything can go. After all, I am nothing. I am just pencil in the hand of the Creator. So what is your take on that? How do you love yourself? How do you begin to develop value for yourself? Because you must begin to see yourself as important before someone else can see you as important. So how do you navigate this process? How do you heal from the... Okay, let me say this, that sometimes it's not your fault. It could be your background. It could be that you grew up hearing about your inadequacies. So hearing this for 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 14 years, 16 years, it has formed a part of your mindset. So you have grown to understand that you are not enough, you are inadequate. So how do you heal from this? How do you move from not loving yourself to loving yourself?
Okay, so I think this is coming so timely. I do have this weekly program on my timeline. It's a fireside chat. And we started our very first one last week or 2 weeks ago. And we talked about self-acceptance. Because I said something. I've discovered that it is easier for us to give out love but not receive love. In fact, if somebody tells you, I love you, be like, I love you. Are you sure this person loves me? And all of that. So we want to give out our very best for people. The truth is, we would go out 6 a.m. in the morning to meet up a job. But we cannot do 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. meditating, like sit down personally and take out time for yourself.
Or even working out.
Or even taking, because I am into mental health.
Yeah.
So I know how therapeutic these things are. Like just taking a morning walk. The way it is going to make your day, you would even be like, is this what I am missing out of? Usually, even that 30 minutes that we are meditating, hey, time is going. I will not know. That is when you start knowing that you have an issue with loving yourself and accepting yourself. Now, self-acceptance is knowing you have a weakness, but embracing it and work towards the fact that this is my weakness, but I can get better. It is embracing your strength. It is accepting yourself for who you are, because the truth is that we are striving towards perfection. No one is perfect. And yes, like you said, a lot of things leads to us not being able to love and accept ourselves. Sometimes it's not even from the family. You would see a family that they love this child very well, then they just take this child to a boarding school. And you're going to see a colossal damage has been done on your child. And by the time your child is returning, there was one trending video then of a child that was bullied. And this child was locked from home. The child couldn't even tell the mom that I was being bullied. Because, they make you feel like if you talk, we're going to, and all of that. Sometimes it might not even be school. Sometimes it could even be from a relationship you came out from.
Yeah.
you're in a relationship, they're telling you you're stupid, you're not good enough. Is it because I am managing you? Ooh.
That line is strong.
A lot of things could make people actually develop low self-esteem and not accept themselves, because this lack of self-love and lack of self-acceptance comes from the fact of not knowing your worth, not having a healthy esteem. So I tell people, in fact, the truth is, we have a lot of damaged homes because we do not have repaired individuals.
Yeah.
So as I am with my bag and baggages, I told you that I am not coming from the best of homes. Psychologically, it affected me. I'm able to talk about it because I tell people I'm still healing. As much as I know I have healed, but healing is a process.
Yeah.
Now, so if I had not healed, I'll get into marriage with the same baggage, pass it on to my children. My children take it on to the next generation. And that's my fear as a counselor that deals on trauma. That's my fear about trauma. Because the truth is, when it is there, if you don't take care of it, it keeps spreading like wildfire. And so we have a generation of people that are still broken. And most times, our parents have a way of projecting their insecurities on us.
The average African parent.
When I was in the teaching industry, there was this video of a child. The child was graduating from preschool. So I want to believe that child was about 3 years old. And the mother fixed her lashes with wig and nails. And I'm like, what point are you trying to prove? But the truth is, that woman is projecting an insecurity on the child because she has no doubt with what she's supposed to be dealing with. So you see this whole issue, it comes from a lot. In fact, most of us, I think if there is one psychological issue we are going through, is self-love and self-acceptance.
Self-esteem.
So we need to come back to the point of, who am I? See, the moment you answer the question of, who am I? It helps you a lot. Most of us, who we are is we are approval addicts. When we talk of addiction, we want to be like, I'm not a drug addict, I am not a pornography addict, I am not a betting addict, but you are a big time approval addict.
Validation.
You want people's validity. You see the whole TikTok dance craze, everything. Most people want to do it because you feel like this is what will make people like you. I tell people, you see this latest trend of releasing sex tapes. There's nothing you want to tell me, most of them are real. Like, they do it on purpose.
Yeah.
So people do it on purpose because they feel like the moment you see, exactly, I'm going to trend. And they feel like after trending for bad, people will start following me. The next thing, I can now start projecting a good part and they will continue following me. And so we have a lot of people that are suffering from identity crisis because you don't even know who you are. When you come to TikTok, you're someone else. When you come to real life, you're someone else. You don't even know who you are. So you see that topic, it is very vast. But I want to say that first of all, you need to determine, who am I? This is me, this is Susan. I tell people that one way of becoming who you want to be is, let's be an open slate. I tell people you cannot shame the shameless. If you have known, that's the truth. If you have known that this is Susan, I know a lot of people that will be like, Susan is a mental health doctor. She used to talk to mad people. She used to do, in fact, there is no name they've not called me, Mama, mental health people, Mama, mad people. This one, I'll say, yes, it's what I do for a living. You get that kind of. Most people will not want to go into psychiatry or what I am doing because they feel like it's about mad people. But I know that that's not the truth. And what I do is I tend to help them. That is it. So I said, there are some decisions I have taken in my life, like I set boundaries on it. I have friends who they'll be like, this one is too strong, but I'll be like, this is me. Coming on with you, I'll say, I am married to Jesus, Satan, leave me alone. Now that's me because I've known that this is who I am. So you need to decide that this is who you are. And when deciding that, it can be so hard, but work as much as you can to develop who you are. Develop you're going to lose friends.
Yeah.
You're going to lose family. You know, when I was starting out on the whole self-development, helping out people, there are times my mother will practically come to look into my room if I'm sleeping. Because they know there are midnight people, someone will just be like, I don't know, I feel like I want to die, I want to kill myself. You need to hold up for that person until you get the support, because that is what I have been called to do. So at some point they talked about it, but at some point they now understood that, okay, this is it for her. This is the path she has chosen. You're going to lose friends. There are most of my friends that I no longer roll with them because I have chosen a particular course in life, especially if you choose to be a Christian. They know that there are some things you need to do and there are some things you don't need to do. That is it. Should we start talking about indecency? They will call you names. Like, you don't know what is on vogue, you don't know this, you don't know that. This is what I have chosen to be. Should we start talking about chastity? I had to tell someone one day, if you were comfortable about telling me your body count, please, I would be comfortable telling you that premarital sex is a sin. I think that was how started stopping the trolls, because I don't understand how you want me to allow you breathe, but you are choking me.
Yeah.
I don't get. I'm not getting into your belief system. Why are you trying to force me to be like you? So the truth is, the world is not even going to accept you.
Yeah.
The world is going to fight you tooth and nail. But my dear, whether you are good, whether you are bad, you will have enemies. Everybody will not love you.
Enemies is a constant.
So exactly. And so I tell people, when you want to choose your poison, choose rightly.
Yeah.
I have chosen that this is who I want to be. I want to affect lives. I know that not everybody will be comfortable about it, but I know where I'm going to and I don't need those distractions. So please and finally, don't be hard on yourself. Don't compare your 10 years old with somebody's 50 years old. It is easy for me or for you now. Let's say if you love me, you want to take me out on a date. But my brother, let me ask you, can you go on a solo date?
Loving yourself.
Loving yourself. It won't kill you. It won't hurt you. Like, sometimes take yourself out. Like, date yourself.
Spend money.
Spend money on yourself. You know, we want to do this, we want to do that. But we just find that missing. We just find that sometimes we even miss out on the good parts of life because we have invested our time chasing other things that when you even ask yourself, what have I really done for myself? And you now find out that the beautiful food you're supposed to eat, you refuse to eat it.
Giving it to somebody.
That beautiful clothes you were supposed to wear, you refuse to wear it. Beautiful and decent, please. Let's be guided. Yeah. You get the beautiful outing you were supposed to take out yourself on. Sometimes you even be waiting for someone to do it for you. So don't be hard on yourself. Failure is part of life. When you fail, the bad thing is you should not stay there. Dust yourself. There are breaking points. When it breaks down, I tell people, I think the next thing they will soon give me is advocate for hugs. If you're broken, if you need a hug, come, don't worry, let's give it to you. Are you fine now? It's okay. Do you think you need to start moving? Move on. You need to know that you are human. True, please. And besides, finally, the summary of the law says, love the Lord your God. Then love your neighbor as yourself. So if you don't love yourself, you cannot give out love. Thank you.
Wow. I feel like clapping. Wow. This has been an amazing session. So what she said about loving yourself is know who you are and begin to love what you are. And she has said that you cannot love your neighbor when you do not love yourself. So it's pointless to begin to take somebody on dates when you cannot spend on yourself. It's pointless to spend a whole lot to get presents for somebody on birthdays, Christmas, whatever it is, and you do not invest that amount of money on yourself or time on yourself. See, the truth is that people will love you based on how you love yourself. And most times we project our esteem to people and they give it back to us. So if people sense that you have low self-esteem, they begin to relate to you like that. So in loving yourself, you must begin to build yourself. You must begin to build yourself according to our coach. Now, this is what we'll be wrapping up for today's edition. We believe you've got through a whole lot. We believe you've learned how to love again, not just loving the person you broke up with, but loving your family, loving your friends, and even loving yourself. Because it would be pointless to love somebody else in a relationship when you do not love yourself properly. So we believe this edition has really shaken a lot of tables in your heart. And Miss Susan here is a trauma coach, a trauma therapist. If you need to talk, if you need someone to help you handle trauma, you could always reach out to her by commenting below and she will get your message. You can also follow us on social media. You can also follow her handles. Can you help us with your social media handles?
Okay, Facebook, Susan SunnyWali. Instagram, Sue the Counselor.
Sue the Counselor. The pages and the handles will be displayed beneath this video. You could click on them and follow. We believe you had an awesome time. So you can take your time, grieve. You can take your time, express your heart. You can take your time, re-strategize. But in the end, we hope that you learn to love again. In the end, we hope that you learn to love your family again. And in the end, we hope that you love yourself more than you have ever done. Thank you for staying with us. See you next time on the same channel.